This is just a snapshot of the entire team, and it's growing too. I've been working with them, I've known some of them through the industry, just especially through my own career. And what I love about them is that they have this curiosity, they carry joy with them, they are so curious. But also, this is how I imagine my table when I'm drinking wine. Whenever we're together, we never want to leave each other. It's so much fun. We learn so much. We joke around, sure. We get serious about wine. We get very technical about wine, but we never forget the joy that we have in being together over wine.
Welcome to the Wine to Wine Vinitaly Business Forum 2025 Chicago edition, where global wine professionals share insights, strategies, and inspiration from this year's conference. Let's dive into today's session and explore the ideas shaping the future of wine.
Hey, good morning. Buongiorno. Listen, okay, this is also a message for the Ita Lounge. We're going to start. Of course, as you know, most of you know, my philosophy in life is chi c'è c'è, which means we start now, whoever's here. And then hopefully people can tag along. I'm very excited to kick off this masterclass for today. As you know, at Wine to Wine, we do masterclasses to not your typical technical guided tasting, right? Because I think it's kind of boring, to be quite honest. And we want to give you some understanding as to the rationale of why, especially, how the wine critics score wines. And it is my great pleasure that Wine Enthusiast came on board this year. So why don't you just start? I'll just shut up now. Oh, Marilisa. Prego.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for being here. It's a great honor for me as a wine producer to present Anna-Christina Cabrales. And, every wine producer asks when they receive the score, how my wine was judged. And so I think that today is the right moment to understand this and the sequence and what inspired the journalist in front of a glass of wine. So I hope that it will be interesting for you, and definitely is very, very interesting for me. Anna-Christina Cabrales is one of the most influential voices in contemporary wine criticism. Anna-Christina is a wine professional sommelier and educator, celebrated for her leadership in both hospitality and wine media. And hospitality is another thing that is very important for every wine producer. With a distinctive approach that blends sharp insight and modern sensibility, she views wine as a cultural expression, a meeting point between technique and identity. Today, we explore her vision for the future of Italian wines on the world stage through a dialogue on elegance, authenticity, and evolving art and hospitality. Anna-Christina has built a distinguished career in the world of wine. She served as wine director and general manager at Morel Wine Bar at Café Rockefeller Center in New York, where she established a reputation for excellence in wine curation and guest experience. Today, she is the tasting director of Wine Enthusiast, a magazine that is very important and have done a lot to make the Italian wine famous in the world, leading a team that explored the diverse expression of the global wine landscape. She oversees the tasting department, conducting blind tasting and producing wine reviews from regions across the world. Anna-Christina graduated from Rutgers University. She further defined her expertise at the International Culinary Center, where she completed the sommelier and the wine education program. Her academic and professional journey reflects a blend of rigorous training and passionate exploration of wine as both craft and culture. And this is something that I find very interesting because leadership and mentorship is something that is very important toward the new generation. So Anna-Christina, beyond her professional role, is committed advocate for diversity and inclusion within the wine and hospitality industry. She is actively involved with initiatives such as Wine Unify, Batonage Forum, mentoring young professionals and promoting equity in the field. She also founded Sommation, a community platform for sommeliers dedicated to open dialogue around wine, hospitality, and professional growth. And I'm very thrilled to be here and to know what is the inner side behind a journalist judge the wine. And I am especially happy because I very recently, less than a week ago, received a fantastic score for one of my property in Tuscany, San Polo. So thank you very much. And, as a wine producer, we try to make our wine at the best, but then sometimes we receive high score and we don't know why, and sometimes we receive lower score when we think that a wine is excellent. So I think that it will be very, very important for us to understand the procedure, how you judge the wine, and what are the small things that make the excellence.
Wow. First of all, buongiorno, everyone. I hope everyone's feeling great this morning. Thank you so much, Stevie and Marilisa. What an introduction. Thank you so much. I'm going to stand if you don't mind. I like to walk around a little bit. Whew. How's everyone feeling? Yeah? I'm so blown away by the introduction. Truly, at the end of the day, it's so much joy to do. I love my job. I love working, especially with my colleagues who are here today. Say hi. Cheryl, Jackie, our president, Addison here. And truly, what we embrace at Wine Enthusiast truly is joy. And I'm so excited for all of the things that we're really just embarking on and where we're carrying it into the future. And the ratings platform is definitely one of those vehicles where it all kind of stems from. It's the inspiration behind a lot of things that we do at Wine Enthusiast. Just as a little bit of a background on me, that was one heck of a introduction, but at the end of the day, just know I'm a big happy face. I love to learn from everyone here. If there are any questions, especially after all of this, I'm happy to entertain them after the class. You'll find me floating around here. I'm sure there are a lot of you, but this session is just fun. And the focus especially, which, going into it, it's not exactly focusing on the exact producer of the wine that's in front of you. This is just to give you an idea of what our everyday looks like. So, a little housekeeping rules. Feel free to dive into the glasses in front of you, kind of figure out maybe where we are. We are blind tasting today. This is a little bit different from what we do behind the walls, but just to kind of give you an understanding of maybe how we might score is kind of like the area of focus here. We would never give you, if you were at our headquarters, we would never put maybe like Pinot Grigio mixed with something else in the lineup. Everything would all be the same, but I'll get into that in a little bit. When it comes to any social media, if you find anything that I say relevant or entertaining, feel free to tag Wine Enthusiast and myself. There's my social media handle. I'm very accessible there. A lot of you do message me there, so feel free to always be in touch. I love to learn from everyone. So let's dive into it. I joined the team 3 years ago, and I was so amazed by the level of wine, like the amount of wine that just flowed into the office. Does anyone want to take a quick guess as to how many wines we rate and review on a daily basis? On a yearly basis? Keep going. Yes, bingo, 25,000. And that also does include spirits. And we do rate RTDs as well as no low alc. There will be some other improvement on that front in a little bit, but today, when I reference what we score and review, it'll be heavily focused on wine, so I'll just reference wine throughout the presentation. So 25,000 wines, and they all get entered into our database manually. We have a whole team dedicated to it. The entire tasting department comprises of 30 individuals, where half of them are reviewers, and then it's like 2 engines that I'm in charge of. The reviewers who are out in the field, learning, studying, connecting with the producers, learning about the trends that are out there, and then the operations side of it. It takes a whole team to do what we do, especially because we taste wine blind, okay? So when I joined, the wines flowed in, and I was like, whoa, this is a lot. Bottles were coming in, and in order for us to enter anything in, we have to pay attention to all the small details that are on the label, that are maybe on the sheet, and sometimes the information didn't align. To process one wine, it should ideally take about 7 minutes, but it was just taking a little bit too long. And everyone's waiting for their wines to get reviewed and scored right away. But for us, there is an actual whole workflow behind this. So as a team, we came together and we're like, you know what, we're gonna take this, enhance it, and make sure that things move faster in an efficient way that's also very transparent for everyone. So September of 2024, we launched a ratings platform in which basically producers, importers, those who are basically handling the submissions can go into this portal, which if you're interested to check it out, go to wineenthusiast.com/submit-for-rating. I probably preach this every day. You know how they say champagne is only champagne if it comes from Champagne? Well, for me, it's this. If you really want to see what we're all about, our workflow, and get your wines rated in reviews, submit-for-rating. You'll find all the information there. And also, if you have colleagues who are, only speak Italian, we have translations in Italian as well. That's there in PDF form and in video form as well. So I'm happy to share those details with you. Also, it's in the app. It's connected in my profile as well, so you'll find it there. So what you're looking at right now is just a little glimpse of what the platform looks like. Essentially, you have a login where you go in, you type in all the details of the wine that you'd like for us to review. And from there, you can also see the status of exactly where it is along the process. Should it be submitted, accepted by the team? Or maybe there's an error, like they were really confused about it, especially on the label, and we can't find information on it. Or maybe it's been reviewed already. Before, without this technology, we would get maybe emails asking, hey, what's going on? Did you get it? Here, it's full transparency. And then basically the contents of what was in that PDF that was manually written into or typed into is now in the secure platform. So everything's recorded. There's really no second guessing anything. It's very easy to use. And so the snapshot that I have here is just a workflow. Once you're in the system and you go through the entire process, you'll see your wines registered on your own platform, or your own interface rather. And it'll be right on the screen, and you can follow the entire journey. Once it's with our team, this is what happens next. This is truly the setup, and it's beautiful. So that's in our headquarters, where we have 2 tasting rooms, and any given time, maximum we support 2 reviewers to taste. So what you see basically is a cellar in which there's a minimal amount of time that we require in order for the wines to settle in. These wines travel from different directions, and we want to make sure that it's showing its best. So we don't really want to rush that process. There is one wine here that kind of traveled a little bit, and I'm not going to tell you which one it is, but you'll see maybe if you pick it up and why that's so important to us. The glassware is so important to us as well. When we taste, especially overseas, we carry our short stem Aria glass, which you can find on wineenthusiast.com. I've tested this glass across several different brands, and I just love the way it presents, especially for young wines in particular, where you can really feel just the base, mid, and just delicate notes, and it just comes together all together in the glass. I really hope that we have that experience together sometime. If you're ever in New York, please give me a shout, and then maybe we can test this glassware together. And then from there, we're going into rating and review. Notice that we did say that we have one person who is really dedicated into the region. It's not multiple people. We might have markets in which we have multiple reviewers, but we never overlap. That's because we specialize in certain regions. We want to pay attention to what's happening on the ground. Are styles changing? Is there something that we need to pay attention to? It's not just vintage variation. That's not enough for us. We want to know what's happening with the producer, if styles are changing, or maybe they're going in a different direction, or are there different enhancements? Are there new cuvées that we're learning about where the entire region is going? That's why it's so important for us to have specialists. And they're the ones also who are producing really cool articles for us. And even our articles, it's not just, again, I love Vintage Report. It helps me stay sharp. But also, they're the ones who are listening to the new voices, finding the new joy that will get everyone really roped into wine, right? There's always that learning curve as to, well, what really excites me? And that's what I love. We're really embracing like these new stories. It's not just, oh, this event happened. No, we're always finding that little bit of angle to like get you really excited to scroll through your phone. I do it every Sunday, wherever like I'm just having a glass of wine, sometimes I'm reading our magazine, but also just flipping through my phone. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I didn't even know about that. Or maybe like something that I've helped edit. When I read it through again, it just inspires joy, and that's what I love about what we do. So I pretty much reviewed everything on this slide. Here's a little image of the short stem Aria glass, if you're interested. This is just a snapshot of the entire team, and it's growing too. I've been working with them. I've known some of them through the industry, just especially through my own career. And what I love about them is that they have this curiosity. They carry joy with them. They are so curious. But also, this is how I imagine my table when I'm drinking wine. Whenever we're together, we never want to leave each other. It's so much fun. We learn so much. We joke around, sure. We get serious about wine. We get very technical about wine, but we never forget the joy that we have in being together over wine. It's just really great people. And they're all scattered all over. A lot of them are based in New York. Some of them are in California, Pacific Northwest, and we do have a reviewer out in Bordeaux as well. And we do taste on the ground, like I mentioned earlier, with consortios in particular, where we're probably tasting about maybe upwards of 400 to 500 wines a week when we're tasting locally. Whenever they are in-house, I always say to take your time. The maximum one of them might ever review in one sitting period is maybe like 90 wines. The average is usually around 35 to 50 per session. We don't like to rush through the wine. It's a whole process. From selecting the wines that will be in the flight, again, we would never put like Chardonnay next to Pinot Grigio or something like that. It all has to be very fair. It should come from the same vintage. It should come from the same vineyard, ideally. And then on top of that, the aeration and temperature matters as well. So it's not like we're just popping the cork and then that's it. We are giving the wines time to breathe, to really show their full profile. The scores, the rating system, right? So it is based on 100 points. The lowest score that we'll publish online is an 80. Okay, and of course, 100 pointers as well. But to kind of create a benchmark for all of us as we're tasting through this, 87 is that textbook marker. And all of us are calibrated to this. And it's not even just within our own beat. We calibrate across the globe as well. They test me, I test them, we test each other. And we make sure that we stay calibrated. We probably calibrate like 4 times a year. Anytime that a new reviewer comes in, it's a pretty rigorous process, and especially first we go outside, like mark their beat, and then we really specialize and we test each other on the wines that they are selected to review. So again, 87, that textbook definition of what the wine should be like. And as we start to move into like 90, 93-ish, we're looking at the structure of the wine, the balance of the wine, levels of nuance. As we start to get into 94, 95, we start tinkering around like the ageability of the wine, how long can this really last in the cellar? And then once we go from 95 and above, we were starting to see like, really stellar wines that really knock it out of the park. And this is where the specialty of the reviewer kicks in, where we're also working closely with the winemakers to figure out, like, what was it for them? Like, is this vintage potentially even better than the last? You know, was it difficult but holds a lot of potential? We're not the type of publication that would say, like, for example, for me, I love 2021 through France. I rate France. So 3 regions in France. I'm not scared of a cool vintage. Those vintages deserve good marks as well. So it's not necessarily about an extraction or a style. We're looking for the honesty in the wines. So the opposite direction is a little bit difficult. When we start to move downward below an 87, we're noticing some faults. This is why it's so important to have a backup sample sent to us, because you'll never know. I'm very hypersensitive to cork taint. It happens, you know, so the secondary backup is very, very helpful. But it's not me who will probably call it, it's the coordinators, the ones who are setting up the flights, who will probably pick it out right away. If the bottle feels off in any off chance, they'll probably say, hey, wine number 2 might be off, let me know, but I think it might be okay. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And then when we sit down and taste through the flight, just know also, we're not told anything. We're supposed to be like very sharp. When I sit down, I know nothing. All I know is that it might be red, white, or bubbles. That's it. And then from there, they can only answer yes or no. That's it. It helps us tune our senses, figure out what's happening, or maybe there's just something that we're discovering that helps us go into a topic. And that's kind of like the core of how we figure out, like, okay, well, maybe we should investigate this more. Or is this trending? It's an area of opportunity for us to discover, and we love it. And then we have special designations. There are 4 of them. The best buys are wines that are $20 and below of exceptional value. It's based on the size of the container, the price point, and the score. And that's done automatically. That's an automatic marking if it hits certain thresholds. Actually, our top 100 best buy list just came out, so if any of you are interested, please check out our website. Hidden Gems and Editor's Choice are a lot of fun. Hidden Gems is brand new for us. Hidden Gems are those one-offs where you're like, wow, this is excellent for the category. Perhaps it's an orange wine that maybe if you don't drink a ton of orange wine, you're like, wow, this is great. This is a wonderful example, but I'm probably going to experience this one, but I know someone's going to enjoy it, so we'll mark it as a hidden gem. The next one is Editor's Choice. This one I have a lot of fun with. If you see EC, that means when you come over to my house, my apartment, that bottle is probably going to be there. That means, hey, this is a good friend of mine. I would like to introduce you to it. Cellar selections, another fun list. And we do have a top 100 cellar selection list that's about to be released soon. These are the icons that we're all familiar with and tomorrow's icons. Everyone starts somewhere, right? And what's great is that this list truly is a marker from all of our reviewers that say, wow, you should really pay attention to this. Maybe grab 2 bottles, cellar one of them, pay attention to it now, pay attention to it later. And our top 100 cellar selection list will run the gamut of $35 all the way to, well, you name it, right? Cellar selections can be very expensive at times. But the truth of the matter is, right, we have to show people, hey, we know all of these names already, but we're going to introduce you to new ones that are accessible now, right? And then hopefully they stay that way, that price for a while. So in the end, does it all matter? Does it work? I love this one testimonial. I'm going to go close to the screen because I'm blind. The one from Claire Clavel. She's a producer from the Rhône. Last year, slow sales at Domaine Clavel resulted in an unsold stockpile, putting the winery in a tough spot. Then in July, Wine Enthusiast awarded its Côte de Rhône Rouge a stunning 92 points. I was in disbelief. A 92-point rating for a Côte de Rhône, it felt unreal, Clavel recalls. The score piqued interest from Costco, which ultimately ordered 100,000 bottles, which was the entire production, by the way. It changed everything. For the first time this year, I felt confident about facing the bank. I was in Burgundy, and I felt this tap on my shoulder. She was crying, and she said, Anna-Christina, like, you did everything for me. I said, I did what? I just did my job. No, you did everything for me. So this testimonial for me gives me the chills every single time. But yeah, it does work. It does matter. Ready to taste? Cool. So again, I can't emphasize this enough. This is not a true representation of what would be flighted for you if you were in our office. Again, you'd be white, rosé, sparkling, you name it. This is just a focus on kind of like how we would score. Again, the scores, for any of you here that might be a little bit skeptical, we're going to speak the same language at the end of this. I teach my friends how we rate and review wines all the time. It's cool how I can be across the room from another reviewer and say, 94, yeah. We're usually plus or minus like 1 point away from each other, but generally we're on the same page. And I hope we'll be on the same page too. See? Okay, let's go. All right, let's pick up glass number 1. And remember, 87 is our benchmark. We're saying that this is textbook expression. There's nothing wrong with the wine. It's very good. We're probably going to enjoy a glass of it, maybe another one. But it's just a very straightforward, simple expression. I hate using that word. I love wine, and nothing is ever really simple, especially in making wine, right? But we're saying that there's no fuss to it. It's a very straightforward, thoughtful expression. So let's taste it together. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I might not even reveal to you the producer, but I will reveal to you the variety once we're done. So let's taste it together. We'll smell through the wine and check for any flaws. Is it simple? Is it straightforward? Is it highly complex? Is it flawed? Smells pretty clean to me, yeah? All right. Are we feeling a high intensity of like complexity in this wine? Can I get yes, no, maybes? So, medium. Okay, there's something there. Also, our first wine of the day, good morning. So let's go ahead and taste it. Let's make sure to get all parts of the palate, yeah? And be gentle in the way that we spit out our wine as well. Marilisa, would you like to make a comment about the first wines, maybe what you're experiencing?
I think that is a very balanced wine, good acidity, wine that is perfect for a wide range of food, fish, better than anything else. Is an easy drinkable wine, but with some personality. It's not plain. It's a wine that is quite interesting. This is my feeling, but I'm not a taster like you.
Exactly. It's a nice wine. There's nothing wrong with it. Very straightforward. Again, if our benchmark is at 87, yeah, it's exactly that. See? Like that's the score that this wine received. So great job. Awesome. And in case you're wondering what this is a Pinot Grigio, yeah? Cool. I think some of you already knew that. You're like, yeah, this is just a warm-up. Let's go to wine number 2. I hope this wine kind of tricks you a little bit. Not too much.
Second is definitely a wine that has more structure, more intensity. The oak has a big contribution in the development of the wine, but I think that at the beginning the wine was quite intense and profound, and also it has dry extract that give you the idea of the depth that the wine has. Let me taste, because I smell the oak, but I don't taste yet, so I don't know if it is balanced in the mouth. Probably for the new trend is a little bit too oaky, but maybe with the age, because I think that this wine can age, it will balance this oakiness that you feel now.
That's a great point. Where styles are heading, it's okay for us if a wine is big and structured and robust. It doesn't mean that something that's a little bit lighter, more elegant, wouldn't be awarded the same points. Again, we're looking for the honesty in the wine. If it's supposed to be this type of expression, we reward it. If it's supposed to be a certain way and we understand where like it's coming from, this is the style of the producer, we award it properly. Again, we're not afraid of vintage swings, style swings, or anything like that. That's why it's so important to have one dedicated reviewer. Would anyone like to comment on wine number 2 before I dive into the actual points of this?
A little bit more complex than wine number 1, a little bit of a longer finish. The structure was there too with good acidity, so I thought, wine number 2 for me would score a teeny bit higher than 1.
So we're seeing this wine evolve quite a bit, right? And remember, a lot of the wines that we taste are usually even pre-release. So we have to be able to be fair to the wine. Again, settling the wine in the cellars is a huge part of it. So if you ask us maybe even like 2 months later, hey, did you rate and review our wine? We're just giving it a chance. It just arrived. Let it hang out a little bit. But we don't want to be unfair by any stretch of the means. We are trying to do this in a very thoughtful way. And having to taste a lot of these younger wines, it takes a lot of focus. So that's why also we don't rate and review it just anywhere. It has to be in our offices. We pay attention to even the type of water you are drinking. There's no distractions, no sound distractions. I mean, imagine if we were in the south, like the Amalfi Coast, looking at the ocean side and reviewing a wine. It might affect you by 2 points or so. Yeah, of course it's gonna taste great. Here we're very focused. Everything has a process, again. So this wine in particular, I do agree with those notes. So we're agreeing that this is far from benchmark, textbook, right? We're starting to see layers of complexity. Are we thinking that this wine has ageability? Okay. So now we're starting to tinker around the 93, 94-ish range. Do we feel that this wine has the guts to really age for more than 10 years? I see yeses and nos. This wine, generally speaking, about 5-7 years or so. So for us, when we pay attention to the structure of the wine, especially ageability of the wine, this will kind of push this closer to a 93, 94-ish. Yeah? Can we be okay with 93, 94? Is good? Bene? Okay, great. This is Sicilian Chardonnay. Excellent. Wine number 3.
I'd just like to mention one thing.
Of course.
My humble opinion, the oak is overtaking the really true and the elegance of the wine. Just a little bit. I don't know how it's going to be aging, but if the aging will be a little bit less in the barrel, the wine will be itself more elegant, more harmony and balance. So if the oak is taking over, we don't feel really the wine and the terroir and the grapes. We just feel the oak. And It's very straightforward. The first is the oak.
So great point.
This is just my humble opinion.
No, you make an excellent point. And this is why it's so important for us to aerate the wine. So after the wine is revealed, we're allowed to go up or down 1 point. And from there, we can sit with the wine for as long as we need. I remember there's one particular wine that I sat with it for a week. We had a relationship, basically, and I was really trying to get more out of it, and it just wouldn't give more. I checked myself, I checked many, many times, even different glassware afterwards, it just wouldn't give. So yes, well, right now it's presenting in a certain way, especially we feel that we might be off a little bit and we want to reward the points. We're not in the business of being we're giving you 80 points. That's not it. We're here to uplift regions and producers, right? And so we will take our time. And if we need to revisit, we do. And so, yes, very early expression. We want to see if the oak will integrate. It is taking over right now, but it's not to say that maybe in a few hours, we can revisit it. We do revisit quite a bit. Yeah. Great point. Thank you.
When you look at the new generation of consumer, that is a big issue. I think that the new generation will prefer the first one. So you have also a different approach, considering that there is a shift in consumption.
So even though we got to a score, the review in itself matters as well. And this is where we have a lot of fun, especially at Wine Enthusiast. Our motto is we bring wine to life. And we are trying to make people feel things. If we have to make references to something so you can connect with us, we do it. If you read some of our reviews, you'll have fun and you'll be like, yeah, it does feel like that. Like when you just left a club and your leather jacket feels kind of smoky. I don't know, and not that they would exactly come out that way, but we would try to like emit those feelings within the review. So the score matters, but also how we communicate those wines and like what we're experiencing in the glass matters a lot. Let's go into wine number 3.
So, if this wine is not Nebbiolo, I will tell myself that after 40 years, I don't understand anything about wine. So, I hope that is Nebbiolo.
She's correct. This is Nebbiolo.
Okay.
But from where?
And I don't know if it is Barolo or Barbaresco, because sometimes it's very difficult to see the nuances from one to the other. But in my opinion, it's a very good Nebbiolo. It has great balance. It doesn't have an excess of green tannin on the aftertaste. The oak is very balanced, and so it's a wine that, for me, would have a great score.
It did receive a great score. Does anyone have any comments before I dive into wine number 3? Any reactions to the wine? Are we away from textbook right now?
Agree with me, Robert.
You do love this wine, Robert? Oh, you have a mic.
I'm agreeing with Marilisa.
Yeah, you have a mic. Let's hear your thoughts.
Once again, I can't disagree with Marilisa. When I looked at it, I thought, yeah, I think I know where this might come from, looking at it. And then it just has that perfume and the hidden strength. And it's why Nebbiolo and Pinot have these cousin effects. But I think it's a very nice wine.
Okay, so are we far away from textbook right now? Are we shooting into the 90s? Okay. Does this wine have ageability? Like, can this be cellared? Okay, so what number are we hitting right now? We're closer to the 95s, right? Okay. Are we going into the moon now? Are we saying that like this has like mind-blowing intensity and layers that are just like incredible here? Or are we saying that this is a very well-structured made wine that can age for well over 10 years? Okay, so are we comfortable maybe 95, 96-ish on it? Great, because that's exactly what the score was. So this is a single vineyard Barolo, and if you're interested, this is Fontana Fredda, La Rosa, Barolo, 2018. Nice wine, huh? Yeah. And so what's great about tasting wine in particular is truly, maybe we might have internal biases. Maybe we didn't have a great experience with a wine that we've had interactions with before. Who knows, right? But this level of discovery, it's great. We get to really pay attention to what's happening in the glass and then dive a little bit more. But great job. So this did receive a 95. Okay, the very last wine. I could do this all day with all of you, by the way. Like, this is a lot of fun. And I like that we're speaking the same language. And if you have any questions afterwards, we can talk. All right, very intense on the nose, huh? In terms of complexity, are we feeling layers here? Yeah? Are we straying away from our textbook benchmark of 87? Yeah? I would say so.
I didn't want you to ask. Because I was very sure about Nebbiolo, but I'm not very sure about this. Mm-hmm. And if I trust myself, I would say that it can be Sangiovese, and for me is Sangiovese from Chianti, not from Montalcino. But I may be wrong. I don't know.
Does anyone have any comments before we get into it?
But it's definitely another one that is perfectly made. It's very clean. It is balanced. It doesn't have excess of oak. So it's a good wine.
Okay. Thank you. So Sangiovese is correct. Brunello di Montalcino.
Oh.
Any guesses on the vintage? 2019. Okay. Where are we feeling about this one? I feel like this one is going to be a little polarizing, but okay. Are we away from 87? I would say so. Let's build a little bit more. It's showing structure. Is there balance in this wine? Can we award it that? Yes. Okay. Is this wine ageable? Are we feeling layers of complexity here? I see yeses and nos. So what would you say? We can mark this closer to a 93-ish, maybe 94, yeah? Más o menos. Maybe revisit this a little bit later in the day and see where it goes. Exactly, so that's where we land. So thank you so much for indulging me in this little practice here. This is essentially what we do, and we can do more of this together. And I hope maybe on the floor I can look at you and be like, 92? Okay, 92. But truly, this is a joy. Thank you for the friendship, the partnership. We have so many exciting things happening at Wine Enthusiast. And again, this is just one of them. Thank you so much. I had fun with all of you. Enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you.
Let's give it up for Anna-Christina Cabrales. I think you are absolutely the most modest wine critic, tasting director I have met in my entire life. You're very generous, precise, and we really appreciate sharing that with us. And of course, number one lady, Marilisa Allegrini, for hopping on and moderating the sessions. Okay, thank you all for coming.
Listen to the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Himalaya FM, and more. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the show. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. Until next time, cin cin.